Now that you've taken my class, you've learned how to blend and mix neutrals. Make sure you have your 4 to 6 values. We're going to be using the full range of 6. Step 1 is to draw this apple. It's basically a circle with a flat top and a flat bottom. Now mine's a little crooked, it's a little sideways in the reference photo, but he's still an apple. Then we're going to add a little oval just at the top. And of course the stem. That's step 1. Step 2, we're going to take our second darkest value and shadow the bottom. This is what is called a form shadow, and it is basically the backbone of our apple. Step 3, we're going to take the third darkest value and add that on top of our form shadow. I'm over exaggerating the values just a little bit, but the reality is that you could make this value exactly. The values in between the darkest and the lightest color are actually called halftones. Using halftones that are closer together on the value scale give you a subtle effect. Being subtle is actually used in a lot of masterful paintings, but that's not what we're doing right now. Step 4, we're going to pick up our second lightest color, which we're using as kind of a middle color, and fill in the rest of our apple. Though we're filling it in, we're being mindful of what our strokes look like. So we're using directional strokes to form the shape of the apple as well. Directional strokes can really make or break a painting. Okay, so now that that's filled in, we're going to go to the ish part of the of the video, which is creating a halftone. So we're going to use our lightest value and our second lightest value and mix them together. This halftone is going to act as a transition between the other colors. So we're going to apply it to the side, the middle, the bottom where the form shadow is, and the top of the apple. Let's power on to step 6. We're going to add our strong highlight to the left side of the apple. There's also a highlight at the top part of the apple, so let's add it to there as well. Step 7, we're going to take our form shadow and we're going to add it to the bottom of the apple. Now we're going to use the form shadow as a transition shade to our casting shadow. So we're making the oval, we're only going to fill half of it in with our form shadow, and we're going to make sure we do not violate that halftone color. In step 8, we're going to take that middle value, the original one, and we're going to use that as a highlight to our form shadow. So that's going to be our transitional color to our form shadow. And using it really just softens the shadow. Shadows are really soft, so we want to just emphasize that a little bit. And now we are on to our final step, which is adding the casting shadow. Yay! The casting shadow is the most beautiful thing in the whole entire world because once you add it, it makes everything pop. I mean, pop, pop. Look at the apple. It's literally sitting there. This is the bread and butter to any painting. From here, you are pretty much done. You could always go back in with those halftones and touch up the painting, put those little stripe thingies on. I don't know what they're called, but you could put those on if you really, really wanted to, but you're essentially done. Now, I did forget about the stem, so I'm just going to go in with my my lightest value and highlight that a little bit. But beyond this, you're actually finished, you're actually done. This is your apple. It looks really good, and you can play around with it if you really want to. This mini tutorial is just about how values really bring depth to a painting. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in our next class.